How's it going, everybody? We are back in Tokyo, and it looks like that dude stole one of my red shirts. You know what? It's fine. He's bringing in the luggage, so he can keep the shirt. Whatever. We are here in Shinjuku, Kabukicho to be exact. As you guys may already know, Kabukicho is a entertainment district here in Shinjuku, a very prominent one at that. And because I had such a wonderful experience with the Appa Hotel in Osaka, I decided to book a very similar property here in Shinjuku. This exact location is known as the Appa Hotel Higashi Shinjuku Kabukicho Tower. I know it's a mouthful, but it is a very nice hotel, and it seems like Appa owns quite a few properties around this area. There's at least 5 or 6 different hotels within like 3 blocks, so you are not hurting for choices. We're going to do a quick tour of the room as a result, just in case you are interested in this part of Shinjuku and this type of accommodation in the first place. So I just want to give you a little bit of information of what the room is going to look like, but I'm quite happy. And this room would be great even if you're not a solo traveler as myself. Again, there's quite a bit of room as far as luggage is concerned. You can fit 3 of those suitcases under the bed alone. Anyways, we are in Shinjuku for only 1 day, so not a lot of time. After I'm done with the quick tour of the room, we're going to head outside and we're going to explore. And I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to hit up 12 places and spend 5 minutes at each one and stress myself out. That's not how I travel. I'm going to show you a couple places where I like to relax. We're going to have a good time, chill, and absorb the ambiance a little bit. So let's take a look. As you can see, the room would easily pass the white glove test. There are plenty of electrical outlets to charge your devices on the table. There's even more storage space at the foot of the bed. An electrical kettle, water, and the various amenities at the hotel are about an arm's reach away, which is great because coffee and green tea are also provided. You also get the traditional Japanese sleepwear just above the mini fridge, and the usual raised bathroom that is typical of Japanese hotels is going to come fully stocked with all of the essentials. Now, enough of that, let's head out and explore the area. Kabukicho is very quiet during the day. It is, after all, a nightlife-driven entertainment district, but this suited me just fine. I wanted to explore the streets of Shinjuku and do a little bit of shopping, but the midday sun was starting to get incredibly hot. It was scorching outside, and being surrounded by the concrete jungle that is the city certainly didn't make things any cooler. Fortunately, I found exactly what I was looking for in terms of a little bit of shopping and getting some gifts for some friends, and decided to head to my favorite inner city oasis. The Shinjuku Gyoen National Gardens are but a short walk from the busy streets around Shinjuku Station, and in my opinion is an absolutely perfect place to escape the high energy crowds, the endless traffic in the city, and the summer heat, which is further enhanced by that high humidity. If you've been in the summer before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, for the low price of 500 yen, you gain access to one of Tokyo's largest and most popular parks, but it is so much more than that. Shinjuku Gyoen was founded during the Edo period as a residence for the ruling class. It was transferred to the imperial family in 1903, who used it to entertain guests, and as a result, as you can imagine, the landscaping and the overall aesthetic value is simply undeniable. And while there are certainly plenty of well-manicured shrubs and flower beds, you can also find a few more interesting elements. The ponds are gorgeous. There are forested areas where you can get a little bit of shade and a nice breeze. And there are even a few paths that resemble more of a hike than just walking on endless concrete paths. So you have a lot of different options available to you. Now, the garden follows the rules of seasonal beauty, with the cherry blossoms in the spring, of which there are many cherry blossom trees within the garden, and the rich reds, oranges, and golds of autumn. And you guessed it, if you get thirsty, there is a Starbucks. Of course there is. Of course there's a Starbucks and a Japanese alternative centrally located to the garden for your convenience. There are also plenty of places for you to sit, as there are a lot of benches all around the garden, and also, as you have seen, the locals will just bring a mat or a blanket and sit in the shade in the massive open areas all around the park. So if you have something like that in your hotel room that you can bring along, by all means feel free to do so. Now, as much as I wanted to stay a little bit longer at the garden, it was definitely time to move on, and I also hadn't eaten for the day yet, so I was also getting a little bit hungry. I saw a kaiten sushi place across the street as I was exiting and decided to take a chance and venture in. My gamble paid off, if you can even call it a gamble. I don't think I've ever eaten at a bad restaurant in Japan, but the sushi was very fresh and the overall culinary experience was exceptional, especially for the very reasonable price. I also really love the self-serve tea system, which a lot of these restaurants have adopted. The little tea container lets you pour enough tea for one serving, and of course, you have an unlimited supply of hot water. Now, speaking of hot water, I really also needed to get some coffee in my system, as I wanted to mingle with the locals in Golden Gai later in the evening. So it's time to go to one of my new favorite coffee spots in Shinjuku. Hoshino hand-poured coffee is definitely an experience. The decor reminds me of an old-school 1960s gangster bar where you can get a scotch on the rocks, and of course there's that slight little chance that a Tommy gun fight might break out over some minor squabbles. That being said, the decor is not the only part of the experience. The coffee itself is also fantastic, and of course the dessert came with a little bit of a hand-pouring action on its own. And of course, just like with the park, I didn't want to leave quite yet, but it was definitely time to hit the streets again and make our way over to Golden Gai. Kabukicho has anything and everything you might want from a nightlife district. I encourage you to do a bit of research and see what it has to offer to you. Personally, I like the relaxed atmosphere of Golden Gai, which is a small area in Kabukicho that provides you with the bar hopping experience. The streets are narrow, the seats are few, the rules are many, but the atmosphere and the people are incredible and definitely suit my style of travel more than your typical party scene.
You've been terrorizing me, yeah, I'm always wrong. I knew you lost your mind when you dropped that bomb. Girl, are you crazy? Yeah, you must be crazy. I've been thinking lately it's you stole your peace, put it on me, baby, it's you. Lying like a rat, but take your stuff back, baby, it's
So that was my take on a relaxed day in Tokyo, whether it's your first, your last, or you're in between. I also wanted to thank you guys for helping me reach the 1,000 subscriber milestone. As cliche as this sounds, but the very first step in every journey is the hardest, and that certainly holds to be true. when you're creating a brand new channel on YouTube where nobody knows who you are, nobody knows what you're about, and certainly they have no reason to believe any promise that you make as far as your content creation goals are concerned, especially with the pandemic creating a 3-year gap in our collective plans, myself included. But you guys did, and I appreciate you all very, very much as a result. Now, generally, I don't make promises because my word is my bond, and if I agree to do something, that means I have to deliver on that promise. But this is a pretty easy promise to make and a pretty easy promise to uphold. As the channel continues to grow and as you continue to tune in, the destinations we're going to be visiting are only going to get more interesting. The frequency of my uploading is only going to increase, and the quality of the footage is only going to get better. So again, thank you so very much for helping me attain this milestone. I appreciate you all very, very much, especially because your time is your most valuable resource. So I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.